Hi, my name is Tasha. I am 33 years old and I live in Central Florida.
What do you do for work, Tasha?
I work in the service industry. I bartend and I serve.
Bartending and serving. And how long have you been doing that for?
Way too long. I've been working since I was 15 in catering, so I've been in the food industry ever since.
And how much you make a month working in the food industry?
A month on a good day, if it's busy enough, due to COVID, business has been down. Maybe about, over $1,000 a month, like maybe like 15 if it's really, really good.
Okay, so $1,000, $1,500 a month bartending.
hmm
And
hmm
how many days a week do you work?
I used to work at least like 5 days out of the week, and I'd like usually sometimes work double, so definitely 40 hours a week, or less. As of lately, less.
How many hours a week you working right now?
I'm working 2 days out of the week.
And why is that? Is that just because of shifts availability or lower demand?
Lower demand for sure. And I definitely suffered from some like medical injuries to where I'm not able to stand up on my feet or walk for like an excessive amount of time. So that definitely hindered my schedule.
And are you doing anything else right now for income?
I'm trying to figure that out. I'm looking up and using my resources for side hustles. But I have been picking up shifts. It's kind of like Uber's for the service industry, where you pick up like catering positions or events serving staff positions. So I do that and dabble into that a little bit.
Okay. And so right now, your total monthly income, where would you put that right now? Working 2 days a week and doing some of these different side
Ooh,
gigs.
yikes! Probably like $700 a month.
Okay, so right now about $700 a month bringing in.
Yeah, that's scary.
Okay. Well, we'll dive into some of your expenses here in a second, but that's where you're out on the income side of things. Where are you when it comes to assets and investments right now? Do you have any right now?
No, I do not. I wish that I did. I'm currently learning from other resources how to invest in real estate, but outside of, just me sitting still and then finding other properties to invest in.
Where's this money coming from for investing in real estate if you're making $700 a month?
It's not coming from anywhere. It's just me learning because there's no money to invest in.
All about learning, but please don't do anything right now when you don't have any income coming in and you don't have any assets.
Absolutely.
That's the worst thing that you can possibly do. I don't care what TikTok tells you about not having to put money down for Airbnb arbitrage or this or that.
Yes, I
If
feel
you do not
attacked because
have,
that's exactly where it came from.
it came from TikTok,
It did come from TikTok, yeah.
and, and you saw someone post, "Hey, you can own," or I have 10 Airbnbs and I don't even
Yeah.
own a single one of them, and I'm making $10,000 a month, all risk free. Go sign up on a credit
Yeah.
card, put it down, 0% APR, furnish the entire Airbnb, and boom, you're a millionaire.
Yeah, social media is toxic. The ads, it's a lot.
Like,
But definitely just doing outside research. I'm not putting money anywhere.
okay, well,
There is no
Airbnb
money.
arbitrage, Airbnb everything, real estate everything, unless you have a lot of money saved up for that, tens of thousands of dollars at minimum if you're doing a house hack. I mean, if you want to buy a real estate property, you need 20-25% down, and you're buying a $400,000 house, you need $100,000 down for that. Plus, you
Right.
need reserves, plus you need closing costs, plus you need a lot of things there. So Airbnb arbitrage, don't do that. Everything that says no money down in real estate, you're going to 99.9% of the time when someone you see TikTok doing that, they're selling you a course on how to do Airbnb
Correct.
arbitrage. That's $100 a month or whatever it is.
Yep, it's a
And
subscription. Yep.
yeah, and they're making most of their money off of
The
the
subscriptions.
subscription, not because of the Airbnb. Maybe they did it once. And yes, some people do make money with Airbnbs. People do make money with Airbnb arbitrage here and there. But 9 times out of 10 people that are buying those courses that are doing that, they're in over their heads on it. So I saw a TikTok today. It was Dave Ramsey, if you know who he is,
Oh, yeah.
was reacting to a father that was recording a video in the car with his like 16 or 17-year-old daughter, and she was like, I just financed my car, I put $7,000 down, I financed the rest, I put the rest of it into a Airbnb, and now I'm making $1,000 a month for my Airbnb. And it's like, you can't buy an Airbnb with $7,000 or however much it
No.
was. And if you're going to Airbnb arbitrage it and you're 17 years old, your dad's just setting you up for failure right there, because obviously her dad must have money or something, or is going to
Has
be
to.
he's going to be co-signed on the loan, so like he's going to be liable just as much for it. You're setting up your daughter for failure if you're going to get her to finance a car at 17 years old, one, and two,
Yeah.
start trying to do Airbnb arbitrage is just never going to end well. So that being said, end rant, please don't do real estate. You can learn, you can read as much as possible about it. And once you start building wealth, getting out of debt, then, okay, what are options for real
Correct.
estate? So,
Yes, I just want to be prepared. I'm just reading now, no investing. So
okay.
no investments at this point.
Okay. And debts, where are we at with debts right now?
The only huge or large sum amount of debt that I have is from when I enrolled in grad school. I did not complete my coursework, but it's around, I think around like $56,000. And then my collections accounts for my credit has gone down to like maybe $1,000.
Okay, so you're $1,000 in collections and 56,000 in student loans. What did you study in undergrad?
I studied business.
You
Business.
studied business. Okay.
Yes. I ended up graduating with the arts and humanities degree because I changed my major.
Okay, arts and humanities.
Hmm.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to Indiana University in Bloomington, Indiana.
What made you choose Indiana?
When I'm originally from the Midwest, Gary, Indiana, and
Okay.
I was an intelligent student, underprivileged, and I was first generation college, like potential college graduate. So I was given an academic scholarship to go to college anywhere in the state of Indiana. So that's why I chose Indiana.
Awesome. So your undergrad, was that fully paid for then?
Yep, fully paid
My
for.
scholarship? And
Yep.
then you decided to go to grad school and take out $56,000 worth of loans.
Yeah, didn't realize that they don't offer grants for grad school. So that was yeah.
And what happened with grad school with you not finishing?
Well, that was in the transitioning period where I ended up moving to Florida. And everything was online. And I was so used to on-campus courses because, that was what I was used to. That was what I was conditioned, how I was conditioned to learn. And when I moved to Florida, I was very low on finances with just the one job. And it wasn't a good one. I worked for Disney. So I picked up 2 other jobs, worked 3 jobs, and ended up putting grad school on the back burner because I wasn't attending classes online. It takes a lot of discipline for online coursework. So
It definitely does to actually read the materials,
yes.
to listen to the videos.
Oh my God. The daily post.
Yeah. Especially after you've been going through school your entire life. Sometimes you just want to be done with it. But at the same time, how much time did you have left on grad school when you stopped? How many years left?
I actually had one more year left. I think it was attributed to like a number of courses. I did over half, like 60% of my coursework was completed. So I was almost done. Very close, but yeah.
And what was that master's for again?
The master's was for actual marketing.
Okay.
So all of the business courses I took for my undergrad, I was able to attribute that to my grad school career.
Did you ever have hesitation on stopping grad school when 60% of the way done and $56,000 of debt already taken out?
Yeah. So I'm kind of like, I'm in that mindset where I'm just like, if I don't see it, then it doesn't exist. So I didn't see the student loans. I didn't see how much money was actually being put in. Cause again, like I went to school for free until after they started to defer the loan. And when I looked at my credit and I was like, oh, well, I need a car now. So I'm going to get a car. I look at my credit and I'm just like, where is $40,000 coming from? Like, what is that? I don't recall ever like pulling out anything like that. Because again, I didn't see any of those things, but I definitely, once I realized and I was conscious that, the loan was so large, I kind of, like I was hesitant on going back because I'm just like, that's a lot of money. And if I have to be truly committed to like completing and finishing it out, if I'm going to, have that a much amount of money to invest. So definitely a lot to think about when I saw it.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of money. How long ago did you drop out of grad school?
It was years ago. So probably, I want to say like 6 years ago. I still get emails asking for me to come back. And I'm still actually trying to figure out what I'm going to do with that.
Do you know what your interest rate is on the student loans?
I have no idea.
Are you aware that student loan repayments resume come October?
I did not know that.
Yep. So there was the whole executive order with student loan forgiveness up to $20,000, and then and then that was sent to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court overruled that, saying that the president did not have the power to forgive $20,000 worth of student loans for all borrowers out there. And then the pause, it's been paused ever since COVID, interest payments, payments on
Mhm.
student loans. And that is now, I think it was end of June is when that ruling was completed, and payments are resuming with 60 days with that. So I think interest resumes in September and payments resume in October.
I might need some more information on
Yeah,
that.
I'll send you some resources.
Please.
But I would suggest after this, you need to be logging into your student loan payment portal, figuring out one, what is your interest rate on them, and two, what is your minimum payment on those, and when's it resuming? Because I think it's October 1st is the first day of payment. So
That would be brilliant. I appreciate that. I live under a rock, as you can see.
sounds like it. Yep, it's payments resume in October, and so it's been a 3-year pause, which is stating this has saved the average borrower about $15,000 over the last 3 years with the pause, but that is the pause is officially terminated at the end of August. So
Okay. End of August. I'm taking notes.
so definitely need to be going, and interest starts accruing on September 1st, and payments will be due starting in October. So that's coming up quick.
Yeah.
And it sounds like we need to make a game plan right now, talking about your income making $700 a month. I would presume with your student loans, we can do a little calculator right here. We'll assume a 7% interest rate on them. Might be more, might be less. It really depends. And if this is over 20 years, this would be $434 a month, which is over half of what you're making right now, which is not a pretty sight with that. So,
Yes. All right.
and
Definitely send me that information.
and it all depends on the interest rate too. If your interest rate's higher, if it's 12%, you're gonna be sitting at $600 a month.
Right.
And I've seen interest rates on student loans anywhere from 2 to 3% up to 13, 14, 15%. So there's a wide range
So
in that,
high.
depending on the borrower, depending on when they signed it. So definitely something that needs to be looked at immediately today and start figuring out, okay, what is your plan going to be moving forward with that? So
Thank you.
on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you rate your current financial situation? 1 being horrific, 10 being
It doesn't have to be one. I would say a 3 because I have a lot of hope and faith, but my financial situation is pretty bad. Especially with, like what happened recently with the car wreck as well. It's starting to feel a little like helpless, horrific. But with the research and the resources that I have, especially with with the resources that you get just given me in a matter of like 3 minutes, like that's great for me.
yeah, that's what I'm here to help, here to people to learn and figure out. And I don't want you to be hopeless. I mean, there's people I've seen with worse financial situations, with more debt, with
Oh, that's good.
outrageously high monthly expenses, but at the same time, your income is very low. It's
Mhm.
on the very low end of what I've seen there too. So you don't have as much debt, but your income is also a lot lower. So there's ways that you can figure out how to get out of this. I mean, the number one thing is going to be figuring out how to increase your income. And if you can't
Mhm.
work 5 days a week standing up, then hey, let's find online jobs that you can take and you can start doing
Mhm.
that. You're sitting down and working at a desk. But never feel hopeless. I mean, the only way that you're hopeless in life when it comes to your finances is if you decide just to throw it on the back burner and not think about it. But if you start figuring out, okay, what is my plan moving forward? How can I get out of this and come up with a tangible plan and start taking action on that? You can get out of any financial situation,
Yeah.
especially one that involves student loans, credit card debt, car loans. There's ways to get out of it. Are they going to be the easiest routes in the world? No. Is it going to require a sacrifice of not shopping, not eating out, not doing X, Y, and Z?
Mhm.
Yes, it is. It's going to take discipline. It's going to take hard work. But being $56,000 in student loan debt, if you can get to making $50,000 a year, you should be able to get out of this in a couple of years.
Mhm.
Making $700 a month, yeah, you're gonna feel hopeless forever because that's almost the amount you're spending in rent right there. Between rent and
Correct.
food, you have no money in a month. And
Mhm.
so it's just all about figuring out a plan moving forward. We'll talk about some different avenues and things to do and what I'd do if I was in your shoes, kind of as we go through the show. So
Great.
let's talk about your upbringing. You said you're born in the Midwest. What was your childhood like?
Oof. It was a happy one. My parents didn't. I come from a very humble family, working class for sure. We did have nice Christmases, but again, my family was very good at masking financial instability and very traditional. My parents are very traditional. My dad did not want my mother to work, so my mom stayed at home most of the time. At the very beginning of their stages, they had me when they were in their early 20s. So my mom was working, but after having more children, out my brothers and sisters, she didn't work because my father preferred to bring home the bread for the table. I mean, for the family.
And
It was yes. Sorry.
how did you see your parents approach money kind of growing up?
Um, the the things that I learned from my parents, not to say that they were either right or wrong, was that credit was bad. Do not sign up for a credit card if you are not able to pay for it with a debit card. Work hard for what you want as far as money. So having a job, working 40 hours a week, overtime if you can, and yeah, that's basically it. Oh, and don't if you want to buy anything, don't buy anything new. That was our thing. Like if you already have something, then why do you need another one? So nothing new. If you can't afford, if you can't afford it, don't bother like trying to replace something that's already got function that for what you need.
I mean, some good life lessons there. I mean, work hard for what you want. Definitely got to have a good work
Hmm.
ethic.
Yeah.
Credit cards, spot on. If you can't pay for it in cash, you can't afford it. That's how people get into credit card debt. They think, hey, I can afford this, or I can afford this payment 30 days from now, or whatever it might be. And they find themselves accumulating a ton of debt with that. And
Oof.
probably 95% of people, if not more, who use credit cards really shouldn't, because they spend more money because of it. And two, they carry balances, which they're just paying the bank
Hmm.
interest for things they don't need. When it comes to financial instability, what made you say that about your childhood? Were your parents, were they in a lot of debt, or were there times that y'all didn't have much money?
Yes, there was my parents did go to college, but they ended up dropping out. Probably due in part because of me. But they did have student loans that they had to pay off. So they weren't offered the same resources or opportunities that I had once, like I became of age to go to school. So my mom did suffer from student loan debt from when she did go to college, which was only for like maybe a year or two, I believe. So like even with my dad suggesting that she stays home and have him work, she was under the impression that if she were to work, then the government would garnish her check because she owes so much money in so much odd dollars of money in student loans. And then when we did have like when I remember when I was a kid, we did live in St. Louis for a stint, and we ended up having to move back to Gary, Indiana with like my relatives, like my grandmother on my mom's side, my maternal grandmother's side, because it was hard for them to stay in an apartment with two kids to make sure that the rent was paid. Sometimes like I would wake up in the morning, get ready for school, and we didn't have any water. And that's not something that I could make up as a kid. Like, but again, like they were good at masking, like, oh, like this is just a game. Like this is how we're gonna brush our teeth today. So it's little things like that where I'm just like, oh, okay, like we were in a very poor position of financial like stability.
And in what ways do you think your upbringing has kind of shaped your financial habits over the years?
Yikes. My my dad is what my mom would like to say a compulsive spender. But also I feel like I'm not. I hate shopping, but I do feel like when I do have money, like I kind of just give it away. Like I have no regard to like savings. I didn't really understand credit. I understand credit now a lot more, and that's why I don't have credit cards right now. Because I know myself and I know like the position that I am in financially currently. It would kind of like create that kind of anxiety, like okay, definitely use the credit card, and then have no like inclination to pay it back within like any time period. So I definitely feel like I got that from my dad. My dad doesn't like, even now, like he's learned that whatever money he makes, he gives it to my mom, and my mom filters and budgets the money. And with me, I feel like I lacked the ability to budget my money lucratively or just invest it in savings, like instead of just giving it away.
Yeah. Well, hey, at
Hmm.
least you've realized that, hey, I should stay away from credit cards right now. Otherwise, I'm going to find myself in a world of hurt having credit card debt because I'll spend money, things I can't afford. So the
Hmm.
props to you on that for making that decision and realizing, hey, I don't need
Thanks.
to have a credit card right now because, yeah, making $700 a month and you have a credit card, you're going to think you can afford things,
Hmm.
and that credit card
Hmm.
bill is going to come due and you're not going to have any money for it. So I definitely would suggest right now staying away from credit cards for the foreseeable future until all of your debt is paid off. And then, even then, if you can make it out of debt without a credit card, then might as well stay away from credit cards altogether. So,
Yeah,
um,
I am not well versed in that.
Do you currently budget your money?
I used to. So I did that spreadsheet that I sent you.
You sent me a beautiful spreadsheet. So,
Thank you.
but it wasn't filled out for the last 2 months. The last time it was filled out was April, and I think it was halfway filled out.
Yeah, the accountability is not there. And that's why there's another person on there, because that was like, like that was keeping me like, hey, don't forget, you got to log in all of these things. And like with the service industry, we do get tips like commission pay. So I'm just like, make sure you get this. So that way, when we get our paycheck, we get everything together. And, it's hard to keep that discipline to like create a budget. So I do have a budget plan as of lately because of how my world has been rocked. Like I'm a little distracted, but after looking at the spreadsheet, I'm just like, dang, I really did that. I should probably keep on doing that. But yeah.
Definitely need to get back
Thank
to
you.
budgeting your money every single month and tracking it. I
Mhm.
mean, there's platforms. I use a platform called mint.com. It's a free app.
Oh,
And
I like Mint.
plug in all your bank accounts, credit cards, and it automatically starts categorizing it, makes it super easy and stuff. I don't have to pull any spreadsheets, pull any transactions. It's really difficult to get out of debt, stay out of debt if you're not tracking your money. You don't know where every dollar is going,
Mhm.
and you'll wake up one day and all your money's gone. Or like you said in
Mhm.
your instance, you start giving away your money when you don't have a place for it to go. It's just going to disappear. So definitely would suggest let's get back on track, budgeting every single month, checking in every single week on your budget, seeing where you're at for that, and figuring out, okay, I need to cut back on this, cut back on that, and see what other expenses that you can cut back on as well as you
Mhm.
try to find a new job to increase your income. So current net worth right now, if we have $1,000 in collections and $56,000 in student loans and no assets, you said your net worth is currently sitting at a negative $57,000.
Oh my gosh, that's
and
terrible.
and you ended the June 30th with $15 in your bank account.
Yes. I'm
That
sorry.
must not be the best feeling in the world ending a month with $15 there.
No.
Where's it at right now? Because rent's been due, payments, you're going to the grocery store.
My bank account, I've made there's $5 extra in there now
Okay, so you got $20.
after rent.
24
20
days
whole
later, you got
dollars.
$20 in there now. Okay.
Yes.
So now we got to figure out where we're going with that. One thing I didn't touch on, the collections. What is that from?
I did have one credit card. I think it's like $300, and yeah, the bank ended up sending it to the collections agency. I'd made a promise to pay, and then there's some like medical, like emergency vehicle fees in there. I think those like stand at like $400 or $500. There's only like one, and then like whatever else is in there. So medical and one credit card.
And how long have those been in collections for?
I believe maybe it hasn't hit the mark where they can fall off yet, but I think it's been in there for about through 3 to 4, like maybe 4 to 5 years, maybe
Oh,
four to
wow.
five years.
So you just haven't done anything about it for the last 5 years.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so no progress, nothing's been made on the student loans and the collections. You said, "Hey, I'm just going to forget about this. Hope they forget about it one day, and I never have to pay it." Is your thought process there?
Well, I knocked it down. So I did knock it down, and I did need a little break. But because my collections accounts used to be at about like 3,000, and I would call the company and I was like, "Hey, like I can settle it for this whenever I did have the money." When business was booming before COVID like hit, like I was definitely like working on it. But as of lately, like no.
Okay, well, we need to figure out a plan to
Mhm.
get that off of your balance sheet as well and start moving
Yes.
forward. So
Mhm.
monthly expenses, let's go through those right now. We got
Okay.
rent and utilities about $565 a month. We've
Mhm.
got auto and transport $106 and gas a month.
Mhm.
Groceries $50 a month, which is not much food at all. Subscriptions, we got $63 worth of subscriptions. So you're spending more money every month on subscriptions than you are on food. We got $84 for eating out. We've got $31 for entertainment, $165 for shopping, and $200 for your pet. So your total fund money, as I call it, is $545. Your total needs is $721. So you're sitting at roughly $1,266 a month, and
Mhm.
expenses with a net income of $700. So that means you're operating at a $560 deficit
Deficit.
if you are spending within these parameters.
Mhm.
Do you think you're spending within these parameters when we go through the statement for the last 30 days?
Oh no, like I'm not. Yeah,
Close.
there's no way that I can even. That's not even possible. Uh,
We're gonna have to talk about these subscriptions that need to go then, and some of these
mhm.
other things.
There's an explanation for the
There's always an
groceries.
explanation. It might not be a good explanation, but there's always an explanation.
Well, I work in the service industry. I work in a restaurant, so I do eat while I'm at work. And when I was working more, I wasn't at home cooking more. So that was the only viable.
Hey, that's good. If you're working in the service industry, you can eat food on the job. Is that or
Mhm.
you get to pay as much, or you get free food while you're working?
It depends. If I'm working a double, I get free food. But
I'd pick up all the doubles in the world right now than to make more money and to get free food. Then
that is honestly the first point on the plan for my recent occurrence, like recently, like currently right now. But yeah.
let's go through. Well, I guess one other thing: no car payment. You said you got in a car accident.
Yes.
Is that car totaled? Is it gone?
It is gone.
It is gone. So your
She's
insurance is gone. Car's gone.
Yep.
Was there a payment on the car before?
No, I owned the car.
You own the car? Okay.
Mhm.
And there's no payout from the insurance company there? No? Okay. What kind of car was it?
It was a 2010 Hyundai Elantra. Very good on gas.
So it wasn't a recent purchase or anything expensive there. It was a
No.
13-year-old car. Okay.
Yeah.
And you have means to get to work right now via public transportation or friends or...
Public transportation and
Okay.
a lot of commuting, yeah.
Well, let's look through these recent expenses then. We've got Cricket Wireless, $25. So you got a cheap phone plan for $25 a month, which is great. Usually I see people with $150, $160 phone plans. So I'm glad I don't see that now. Amazon Prime, do me a favor. Do yourself a favor. Delete Amazon Prime, unsubscribe from Amazon Prime, delete the app. That is the absolute last thing you need right now when you're making $700 a month. The pink carpet, what is that?
Pink carpet?
On June 3rd.
I actually don't know what that is.
Was it an event you went to? No, that's not.
No, it could be. I have been to a couple of events, but
it says June 3rd, $24.80, the pink carpet.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
So that could go. 7-Eleven, $34. Is that gas for the car? Okay. Eating out on June 3rd for $27. That should not be happening at all right now. How long have you been only making $700 a month for?
This happened recently. So like literally within the last 3 days. Like in June, I was working 4 days out of the week.
Okay. And how much were you bringing in June?
I was bringing in like maybe like 1,200 a month.
1,200. Okay.
Yeah.
We got 7-Elevens buying candy or soda or something inside there because they're $4 and $7 and $3 purchases.
Yeah.
We got Pop Shelf for $18. That sounds like food or snacks or something.
It's the new Dollar General.
Okay.
They have grocery items in there too, but that's mostly just, knick-knack stuff that I forgot to pick up.
Okay. Audible, $15.
Oh.
Trying to learn about Airbnb arbitrage, it sounds like, on there.
There are a lot of self-help books on there.
$15 for that. Prime Video, again, need to delete Amazon. That's another $6 to Amazon.
It's going to be a hard breakup.
We've got Apple.com bill for $20. It's $19.64. What is that for on June 9th?
Apple, I have subscription to Apple Music, and there was a couple of other things on there. I have recently gone through those subscriptions as well.
Need to cancel all of those.
Yeah.
Granted, the biggest problem right now is income, but at the same time, until you get that going, we need to be cutting costs as much as possible. So subscriptions need to go. 7-Eleven, another $25. Wawa, they got some good breakfast sandwiches there. I've had them before.
They do.
Cricket Wireless, $65. I thought why do we have a $25 Cricket Wireless on June 2nd and then a $65 Cricket Wireless on June 13th?
The phone service is in total $60 or $65.
There's a 25 and then there's a 65.
The 25 is from me being late, and I had to
And then we have a Verizon Wireless for $169 on the 13th as well.
I was trying to get a new phone, and I don't have that phone anymore. I gave it all back.
What kind of phone are you trying to get? New iPhone?
Yeah.
Financing it?
Yeah.
For $60 a month for unlimited plus $50 a month for the phone payment plus $10 or $15 for protection plus $30 in fees.
It's like you met me before.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you gave that back. So that payment is not coming out anytime further?
Nope.
Okay, good. Apple, another $10 in subscriptions, it looks like. Prime Video, another $11. You like your Prime Video channels?
I do. It's going to be a really hard breakup for real. But
Sam's
it's
Club,
going.
Sam's Club, $24. So food.
Mhm.
Korean barbecue for $30. Don't need to be eating out there. We got you went to Korean barbecue 3 days in a row or something?
Well, yeah, because I work at a Korean barbecue
Okay.
restaurant. Yeah.
So you're paying for food then.
Well, yeah, the food is good.
I mean, Korean barbecue is phenomenal food, but
I
when you're
can't
making
spend.
$700 a month, eating out should not be on the table. You got to pay one of those doubles so you get free food.
Mhm.
You paid someone $50 on June 15th, Jessica Turner.
Oh, my sister.
Your sister, what was that for?
I don't know. We just kind of help each other out. Sometimes she sends me money as well, but I can't remember for why I sent her the $50, but I know that she needed it. Giving the money again.
Tough situation with family, but at the same time, it's hard to help her when you need to help yourself first.
Mhm.
We got Apple Pay, another $50 on June 15th. I'm not
That
sure
was
where that money's going.
a friend.
Friend, same thing. You're
Yep.
giving money away when you need to help yourself first.
Mhm.
More Korean barbecue going to Regal Cinemas for $16. We have Lyft, which need to be on the public transportation route.
Mhm.
More Apple.com. More 7-Eleven snacks for $6 and $7.
Mhm.
More Wawa. More Circle K for $6, $5. Really like the Circle K. More Wawa for $14. More Wawa for $3. Panda Express for $10.
It's the food. I know.
Steak and Shake
It's
for
bad.
$3. Domino's for $23. Circle K for $4. 7-Eleven again. Wawa again. Circle K again. Circle K again. Wendy's. So a lot of eating out. There are small transactions for like $5 to $10 each, but if you do that 30 times in a month, that adds up real quick to hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
And we have what was this? We've got Nintendo for $22. We've got Nintendo for $45, and we got Nintendo for $2. So we've got about $70 worth of Nintendo.
Yeah. That was a very sporadic purchase. I don't even play the video game like that. But again, that was just
You can't be
it's
buying
not
$70 worth of video games when you can't afford to pay your rent right now.
I know. I have really good money in that month.
Money
It's
comes
just
and goes, and these expenses, when you're $57,000 in debt, you don't have money at that point. You're still broke at that point.
yeah, it's definitely going more than it is coming.
We've got another cash app payment to your sister, it looks like. We've got Disney Plus for $20. We got James Leak $33. Who is that for?
Oh, the utility bill.
Utility bill? Okay.
Mhm.
We got Aldi, another Apple. You got a lot of Apple subscriptions because there's another one for $10 here.
Mhm.
I don't know how many. Another one for $8. What are you buying on Apple?
I
You got
have
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different Apple payments for between most around $10. One for 20, one for 3.
mhm.
I mean, that's $60 worth to Apple in a month.
I've been meaning to properly look into that because I like now I notice it more than ever because again, like I got hit with a double whammy of financial instability. But with the Apple purchases, because like I do have extra storage for $2.99 a month, I know that for sure, and then the Apple Music. But everything else, I have no idea what.
Apple Music, let's cancel that and go use Pandora's free version.
Okay.
I'm serious. I mean, right now you're bringing in $700 a month. You can't afford to do these things. You have $1,260 worth of expenses, bringing in $700 a month, and obviously you can't cut your rent and just goodbye. Like you got to pay your rent. You can't get evicted. Your gas is going to be gone since you don't have a car, so that will remove $100 in expenses. Shopping, you put $165 on your shopping budget. You can't afford to shop right now. You can't afford to do any of that. So we get rid of shopping budget. And pet, you said that was a vet visit for your cat. So hopefully there's not a lot there, but I mean, you need to have I have a pet budget in my budget right now for my dog. Granted, frankly, he's way over that because he's going through some cancer treatment right now, but have to have a certain budget for your pet too every single month because food, vet visits, if they take flea and tick or heartworm medicine, like a lot of dogs do, or I don't know if cats take that or not. But you got to have that in your budget. But even we put that at $50. I mean, we can survive if you stick to this budget. If we get rid of all the subscriptions, we get rid of entertainment. You can almost survive off of $700 a month. You got $750 a month in expenses. Granted, I think your eating out is higher. I think your groceries is probably a little bit higher than $50. So if we put in for those eating or groceries and you don't eat out at all at $200, you're gonna be sitting around $800 in monthly expenses.
Mhm.
But that means literally no subscriptions. That means no Amazon Prime movies. That means no Nintendo purchase. That means no $60
Mhm.
of Apple subscriptions. That means no Netflix. That means no Regal Cinemas. That means no Lyft. That means, I mean, a lot of no's.
Mhm.
But that's also what you need to hold yourself accountable to. Otherwise, when you got $20 in your bank account right now and you got rent due in 7 days,
Mhm.
what's your plan with that?
I don't want to, but I've been thinking about getting a payday loan. But I'm in the business of asking for help for money until I can figure it out, and picking up more shifts at work. Hopefully,
Payday loans will destroy you, and that will be a very
trust me, I
vicious
know.
cycle to get out of. And that is the last thing I want you to do. I want you to figure
I'm
out.
I'm upset
Obviously,
that it's an option at this point,
it's not
but
an option. Don't make it an
no.
option. It's only an option if you make it an option.
Mhm.
Right now, it needs to be okay. What is your ability to work and get out and work and go and pick up as many shifts as possible? I know right now you said it's
Mhm.
a little bit difficult for you to spend a lot of time standing, but what does that look like? And what other places in your community right now are hiring right now? And whether it's
Mhm.
working a front desk of a hotel or if it's working a front desk somewhere else that you can sit down, you need to be figuring out and applying to 100 different jobs this week and
Mhm.
figuring out what are those options that you have. Because I can promise you, if you get a payday loan to make rent payment for next month, that loan will be with you for the next 6 months
Yeah.
because the interest on those are ridiculous.
Yeah, they
And
are.
you're just going to find yourself, oh, I borrowed money once. I can do it again for the next month, or I can do it again for the next month. And you're just going to find yourself in this vicious cycle. So just don't even give yourself an option to do that. Right now,
Mhm.
your only option should be what work can I do? What places are hiring for work that I can do? And how many shifts can I pick up in the next week at your current job, as well as what other
Mhm.
places can I apply to online? What are some jobs you can apply to online? How many jobs have you applied to in the last?
Well, since this accident, since everything has happened, I have applied to 3 jobs and I've been waiting. But I did receive I got accepted. I got a job with it's called something. It's an app just like for service industry staff members, dishwashers, hotel, housekeeping, all that kind of stuff. So I got approved for that and I'm just waiting for jobs to be posted so that way I can apply and like get to that. So that was
Good.
one, yeah, that was one good resource. And I did ask if I could work more shifts at my current job right now. So things are looking up, but
Can
just
I
needed to expedite.
don't hold me to the statistic whether it's 100% accurate or not, but I did see something
Hmm.
on LinkedIn the other day,
Hmm.
and it said somewhere between you have to apply, but I think it was between 30 and 87 jobs to get one job offer, and you're
Oof.
at 3 right now.
Yeah.
So that means you need to get your numbers way up in terms of quantity
Hmm.
because I mean a lot of people are applying to jobs right now, and there's a lot of jobs still available right now. There's a lot in the service industry too, which is what you have experience in.
Hmm.
So I mean, I guarantee you countless places that if you can take a bus to the city and see who's applying, I guarantee you can walk in different places and find multiple places you can apply to. But if you're sitting here applying to 3 jobs and expecting one of those to land, the odds are not in your favor if it's taking most people between 30 and 80 jobs to apply for. And granted,
Hmm.
some of those might be more corporate jobs, those statistics, and the service industry might be a little bit lower because a lot of people need help in the service industry right now. But at the same time, I wouldn't sit here and bet my life or my rent payment next month on applying to 3 jobs and hoping one of those hits. I'd be
Yeah.
figuring out, okay, how can I go to apply to 10 jobs? I mean, if you're not working right now, if you're not working or tomorrow, you should be going and finding 10 different places you can go apply to, whether
Hmm.
it's a Walmart, whether it's a grocery store, whether it's a gas station, whatever it might be. And it might be for you just pick up shifts in the meantime while you can find another job, but you got rent due in a week and you got to figure out how can you make money? How can you
Hmm.
pick up shifts in the meantime to start doing that? Can you figure out with your landlord too? Hey, once you get a new job, hey, I got a new job. I won't have my first paycheck till 5th or 7th, whatever that date might be.
Hmm.
What's the late fee on that? And just understanding your option right now. But a payday loan, if you go get a $500, $800 payday loan, $1,000, whatever it is, it's just going to put you in a vicious cycle of borrowing money that you don't have.
Hmm.
And it's going to be very difficult to break out of because of the interest on it, because student loans are coming back due. I mean,
Yeah.
the issue right now is $700 a month between your rent, your student loan payments, etc., and your current spending habits. You're going to be spending $1,900, $2,000 a month,
Hmm.
and you're bringing in $700 a month. I mean, on this month, I don't think this included rent on this transaction for June. I don't see rent on here, but
Oh, I paid rent with money order
okay.
that month. Yeah.
I don't see it coming out of this account. You spent $1,023.98 in the month of June. not including rent. So that's another $550. And then you
Mhm.
got student loans, we'll call another $500. That's $2,000 that you have to be making minimum just to make ends meet with this current spending. I mean,
Mhm.
I think we identified a couple $100 worth between Apple, between all the subscription services, between the Nintendo. I mean, that's 250 bucks right there alone, plus some eating out stuff. So we can cut some of these expenses,
Mhm.
but cutting $200, $300, $400 worth of expenses isn't going to fix your situation making $700 a month when you have rent for $550, when you have student loan payments coming due that are going to be $500 probably dollars or so. So if I was in your shoes right now, I would be focusing every single minute I can on applying to as many jobs as possible. Tomorrow, I'd love for you to set a goal tomorrow, 10 jobs. Apply for
Got
10
it.
jobs. Apply for 10 jobs in person and apply for 10 jobs online. So 20 jobs, actually. We'll set you that goal. And you do
Okay.
that for the next week, I guarantee you at least get some conversation or get some interviews, some opportunities. By next week, hopefully you'll have one of those jobs in the service industry. They'll probably hire you quickly. You have days of training. If you just sit here and wait around, it's not going to be a fun next few months. And the
Mhm.
only way to get out of your spot right now is to take action and figure out what kind of jobs can you do with your current situation, in terms of transportation, in terms of skill sets, in terms of your ability to be on your feet. And let's just go find as many of those jobs as possible. Finding stuff online is a great idea as well. Upwork is
Mhm.
a platform for finding freelancer stuff. What skills you have that you can put on Upwork, and you can go apply to 100 different jobs on Upwork. If you have graphic design help, if you have video editing skills, whatever it might be, but you can apply to different jobs, data entry jobs. I mean, a lot of people hire people on Upwork for data entry, and you have to go find leads or sources or whatever it might be for different businesses. But if
Mhm.
that's something you can make 15, 20, $30 an hour doing or per job, and that takes you an hour or two, that's income that's coming in. So you should be hustling as much as possible, really, these next few weeks to find stuff and to get this turned around.
Sounds good. I accept that challenge. You said Upwork?
Upwork, yes.
Mhm.
And I mean, that's a platform I've used a lot in my business. I think it's great. You can find a lot of talented people on there. Um, so definitely a platform I would suggest. Fiverr's another one. But then too, at the same time, a lot of stuff in person too that you can walk in, you can put a face to it, and their service industry jobs. Those are gonna be a lot quicker to hire too than
Yeah.
trying to find like a desk job or like a corporate job online. Service industry that will be able to pick you up a lot quicker because they need people and they'll train you within a couple of days and then hey let's go. So and I'll email you this week. I'll say, hey Tasha, how many jobs have you applied to? And if you tell me you've only applied to 4 jobs, I'm not going to be happy.
I can assure you I can do 20. I can do 20 by today.
Yeah, I think you do 20. I think you do 20 in a day easily. If you
Mhm.
want it, if you want to fix the situation, you can do it. If you're not working, you got as many hours a day as everyone else. If you got 10
Mhm.
hours and you have to go out and apply, it's two jobs an hour. That doesn't
Mhm.
seem that extreme to do. So
Mhm.
especially with stuff online and in person. I think a mixture of both will be good. So, and then right now, don't spend any time reading about Airbnb arbitrage or Airbnb investing, real estate investing. That is not going to solve any of your problems right now. Crypto trading, day trading, whatever it
Oh
might be.
no. I
None.
went through that one already.
You went
No.
through that.
The crypto training, yeah, I hung up that code a long time ago.
Did you pay something for it?
No, 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 no. No. I
Good.
just yeah, I looked into it and I said I don't see very many successful stories for this, so I'm gonna like just I dropped it
Good.
like a
Good.
bad
Good. Good.
habit. Yeah.
So this is gonna it's not gonna be an easy next few weeks, next few months to get out of this. But really, what you need to figure out right now is cutting these expenses out of your life. Go after this and cancel Amazon, cancel Netflix, cancel Apple Music, all these subscriptions on your phone, and then you got to start hustling to find jobs. Income is the main issue right here, and then after that, once you get that income going, now you have to start figuring out a plan. How are you going to get out of this debt? You have $1,000 in collections, and you have
Mhm.
$56,000 in student loans, and those payments are resuming in October. So you have 2 months to figure out what your plan is to get your income up to be able to even make student loan payments come 60 days from now.
Mhm.
So that's plenty of time to find a job, plenty of time
Yeah.
to start bringing in money there. But now you got to figure out what is your plan with that? What is your plan to? I don't want you to have these student loans 20 years from now. So if you're on a
Mhm.
20-year term for these student loan payments, what's your plan before that? If your monthly minimum payments $400, you got to figure out how am I going to contribute $600, $700 a month towards these, so you can get out of debt a lot quicker. Otherwise, you're going to wake up and you're going to be 50 years old and you're going to have still $50,000 in student loans, and I
Mhm.
don't want that for you, and I don't think you want that for yourself.
Nope. I do not.
But you got to understand what your interest rate on those loans are when
Yeah.
your due date is and what the minimum payment is. So that's something you need to look at after that as well, is just getting all your ducks in a row in your finances,
Mm-hmm.
setting up a platform like Mint for tracking your spending, setting a hard budget down for, I mean, again, you can't afford to eat out right now, can't afford subscriptions, can't afford to be giving any gifts, buying gifts like that, can't afford shopping. So all those budgets need to be zero, and all your money
Mm-hmm.
is going towards groceries, your rent, and what minimum amounts of money you have to pay to ride the public transportation. Besides that, there should not be any spending right now.
There really hasn't been much lately, but
No, I
I
mean
agree.
you're
It's going to be consistent though, considering, I haven't been working as often.
yeah.
But yeah, I
I
agree.
mean, your spending is not outrageous. Like you're not spending $3,000 or $4,000 a month right now, or you're not racking up credit cards. But there's still, like we said, there's still probably $200-300 worth of stuff in there that we could definitely cut out. That was in the
Mm-hmm.
month of June. That was not necessities, if not
Right.
$400-500 of that. So, I mean, a lot of trips to Wawa, a lot of trips to Nintendo and 7-Eleven for snacks,
Yeah, they're right
eating
down the
out.
street. It's so bad.
So it's really just going to come down to, do you want to figure out how to get out of this and let's figure out a plan for that? Or
Mhm.
do you want to sit around and hope that one day your student loans just disappear, which frankly, the government, I would never want to depend on the government for my livelihood for erasing my issues. So I don't know.
I
I mean,
I
it takes the
agree.
government how long to build roads or fix roads or do anything in this world. So a lot of people are like, oh, well, they might forgive my student loans. And it's like, that
No,
could be
they
30
won't.
years from now. And I don't want to sit here paying student loan payments for 30 years just for they might pay it off.
That's something that was a really good helpful resource that you gave me because I had no idea about interest on my student loans at all. So I wrote it down already too.
Good. Well, I'll send you a bunch of resources after this
Yeah.
as well. I mean, right now, you said you'd give yourself, I think, a 3 on a scale of 1 to 10 because of your income, frankly, right now, and student loan payments coming due. I'd probably put you at a 1.5. I've seen more debt before, but your income is the issue right now.
Right.
I mean, if you're making $1,500, $2,000 a month, you'd be able to live paycheck to paycheck and survive with
Mhm.
your current spending. But the issue is your income is not there and your spending also needs to be cut. So, and then you got these
Mhm.
student loan payments that weren't even on the radar that, hey, these are coming due in October. So I'd put you at a
Yeah.
1.5, but you can fix this. You can solve this. If you go and apply to 20 jobs a day for the next week, I guarantee you'll find something. I guarantee you'll get extra work. You'll get additional income coming in. And if you can talk to your boss at work and say, hey, I need more shifts and start
Mhm.
bringing more money, then you'll be able to get yourself at least in a spot where you're not underwater and you're bringing more money than you're spending, as long as you control your spending. And then it's, hey, let's figure out how to start paying off the student loan debt quicker so you don't have $500 a month coming out going towards student loans.
Right.
But it all comes down to building a plan and sticking to that plan. And I'll send you some different resources and stuff in terms of paying off debt. Dave Ramsey's a great resources for paying off debt and videos to watch, to learn from, and some different tools and resources I use as well for budgeting, for tracking expenses,
Mhm.
that I think will be super beneficial for you in your future. So
Thanks. I appreciate that.
yeah.
Thank you.
Last couple questions I have for you, I guess, before we wrap up here. What's one thing you wish you knew earlier about personal finance?
Oh, everything. I wish I would have had a much clearer and more optimistic view on credit and how important it is because
I'll debate you on that one, because a lot of people overemphasize the importance of credit. Yes, it's important. A lot of, when you're renting, they check your credit and you need to have a good
Mhm.
credit score for that. But besides that, the only time credit matters is when you're going into debt. If you were buying a house that
Mhm.
you can afford and you have a higher credit score, then yes, your
Mhm.
interest rate is probably going to be a little bit lower. But besides that, using credit for car loans, using credit for credit cards to get more credit cards. I mean, if you never carry a balance on your credit card, your credit score doesn't matter.
Mhm.
And if you're buying a car, you should be buying it cash, so your credit score doesn't matter.
Mhm.
Credit scores really only matter when you're going into debt. And the best life for 99.99% of people are not having any debt. So really, I think, in my opinion, the only time credit scores really matter is when you're renting and they need to approve your credit, which I'm sure there's also ways that they'll approve you for renting based off of referrals or previous
Mhm.
landlords without checking your credit score. And then when you're buying a house, to help with your mortgage payment or interest rate a little bit. But
Mhm.
car loans, can't afford it. You can't buy it in cash. You can't afford the car. And besides that, you shouldn't be carrying any debt. So
Right. Well, that's what I mean. I
that's
feel
my hot take, at least, where credit doesn't matter.
no, it's okay. I value that because that was my mindset too, and I would have been on that spectrum as well. But when I started making service industry money, when I started bartending, and I had the cash to pay for everything, I felt like I would have been able to like rotate my credit. And whereas I wasn't paying for anything that was crazy, but just in case I wanted to, like if I ended up wanting to buy a house, like I would be able to get it, just knowing that my credit is safe. But yeah, but that again, like I just wish that I would have had a better illustration or like a prettier picture of what credit was, instead of having it be like perceived as a negative thing. I wish I would have invested in saving my money more.
Yep.
Because during college, like when I had the grant money, when I had the scholarships, I was frivolously spending my money. And coming from a background of like not having much to having like that super large like disbursement of your financial aid check, it's just like, wow, I could get a laptop because I'm gonna need it for doing all my homework and stuff. Like I wish I would have put everything that I've gotten that from that grant, all of the residuals, and just put it away in savings and let it expound, so that way I wouldn't be in this position. I felt like maybe like financially I should be building a foundation, but I found myself making money and just living paycheck to paycheck and giving out more than I was giving for myself without having it grow.
Yeah.
So definitely credit and savings for sure.
Definitely a lesson a lot of people learn is living below your means and investing and saving the difference. And I mean, the beautiful thing is you're still young, 33 years old. You still have plenty of life left in you. And you can figure out, hey, how can I get out of this student loan debt within the next probably 2 years, 3 years max? If you really hustle, you really start budgeting, tracking all your expenses and paying off these loans. And then once you're done with that, hey, let's start figuring out how to invest for the future. You take that same $500 a month payment and you start investing that money instead of putting it towards student loans. You're going to wake up 30 years from now. If you get out of debt when you're 36 and you start investing that same monthly minimum payment from your student loan, so $500 a month, that'll be $660,000 when you're 67 years old. And that's accounting for inflation. So you will have the ability to start building wealth once you get out of the student loan debt and once you get your income up to even be able to afford to live. And the beautiful thing is you still have time on your side. You're 33, plenty of life left in you, and just going to take a lot of hard work, a lot of discipline, a lot of late nights, a lot of double shifts.
I'm definitely living uncomfortably right now. So
you are. And
this is the most uncomfortable I've ever been, to be honest.
And I 100% understand that. And your choices right now are live uncomfortably like this, paycheck to paycheck for the rest of your life, and just figuring out ways to scrap by, trying to take on payday loans, which should not even be in the cards right now. Or the uncomfortableness is going to be working a lot of hours, jobs you might not like, double shifts, so that you can put yourself in a spot where money is not going to be the root of all evil. It's not going to be your biggest stressor in life because you don't know how you're going to make your rent payment in a few weeks. So yeah, there's two options. And I think you have you had scholarships to go to college, and you working as bartenders, you know how to talk to people. That's not an easy job to do. It's a lot of interpersonal communication skills. So there's plenty of fields, plenty of opportunities out there for you to go and find and get jobs at that are going to pay you more or give you more hours and figure out a way to get out of this hole. So I know you can do it, Tasha, and really just do appreciate you coming on here, sharing your story, sharing your journey, different lessons and struggles you've had too, and just being open and transparent there. And I'll send you over a bunch of resources after this. And I really just appreciate you coming on, and hopefully everyone watching, you listened and you learned something from Tasha. A lot of you are probably in this similar situation as well, trying to figure out how to make your rent payment next month, living paycheck to paycheck, student loans coming due in October and didn't even know that they're coming. So if you learned something from this and you're watching this, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button below. And if you want to come on and be on the show, Tasha, do you suggest people should come on the show, or what's your take?
Absolutely. I've learned a lot, and I'm encouraged to make better financial choices. Like, your resources were very helpful. Thank you.
Awesome. So if you want to be on the show, if you're going through similar struggles to Tasha, make sure you reach out to me, and we'd love to have you on here. So thanks again, Tasha, and we'll chat soon.